I have a triple comparison for you today. I wanted to do a Polish beer comparison between Okocim and ̶ubr. But since I had a 6-pack of Weihenstephaner, I decided to throw in a Weihenstephaner Original Helles or Original Lager, just to see how it compares to these two beers. But I'd really focus on which one's better between ̶ubr and Okocim from Poland. Now, I did print out some notes on these beers. Let's talk about first of all the BeerAdvocate scores. What do people think are best, if that's what the score indeed represents? But for Okocim, we've got 79, which I think is in a very good category. I can't remember. For ̶ubr, we have 77. So Okocim is considered a little bit better than ̶ubr. Weihenstephaner 91, one of the highest rated beers. If they're in the 90s and it's considered outstanding or excellent, something like that, I don't know. But Weihenstephaner is good. We got ABVs. Okocim is 5.6, so it's stronger than your typical lager or Pilsner or Helles, which are all around 5%. A lot of other European lagers between 4.5 and 5%. For instance, Ireland's Hart lager is 4.5. I think Miller High Life from the US is 4.6, 4.8, maybe 4.5. Budweiser is 5. That's American Budweiser. The Czech Budweiser is 5. What else we have here? Well, you can see that in color they're all very similar, but the ̶ubr is the darkest beer. So if I see it, I know what I'm going to be drinking. So I don't know if I should do this blindfolded or just with my eyes open. I really don't care one way or another, so maybe I'll just leave my eyes open. Let's see, so we've got, I think I went through this, 5.1, 6.0, this is the strongest, the ̶ubr, and 5.6 for the Okocim. Flavor profile for Okocim, malty light lager. Okay, so I expect this is going to be sweet. ̶ubr says mildly sweet, and Weihenstephaner, floral hops, honeyed malt. So when I tried this yesterday against the Kirkland Helles, I found this one to be more bitter and better. So it's going to be interesting to see which one's the sweetest of these and the bitterness between them all. Yeast character, neutral lager. I don't care about yeast character. Best served with, oh, this is interesting. What's Okocim? Best served with pierogies, pork sausage. Where the ̶ubr is best served with grilled meats. And the Weihenstephaner, best served with pretzels. Who'd have thunk? Pretzels, roast chicken. Okay, so Okocim is malty and robust. ̶ubr is smooth and unchallenging. Malty and robust, well, that means maybe sweet, smooth and unchallenging, and a masterclass of brilliance and balance and subtlety. So if you want depth, go for this one. If you want easygoing refreshment, go for ̶ubr. And if you want brewing excellence and elegance, Weihenstephaner is in a class all its own. All right, let's get down to it. Wasting enough fucking time yakking. So I'm more interested here in comparing the Polish beers. Now, we said this is malty, so I expect this to be sweet. Let's see. Not much of an aroma. Either I don't smell very well, or these beers don't produce much of an aroma. I've had Okocim before. I liked it. It is sweet. Maybe too sweet. It's got some flavor. It's got, God, what is that flavor at the end? Almost like a nutmeg in the finish. Although I'm not really sure what nutmeg tastes like. But that's what comes to mind. Some kind of flavor. But I don't know what it is. Cinnamon, something bitter, but not hoppy bitter. Goes in sweet, has that nutmeg type flavor at the end. It's an okay beer. Well, yeah, absolutely it sure in the hell is. Okay beer. Is ̶ubr an okay beer? A bit more bitter, a different flavor altogether. At first I thought the flavor of this, in the initial hit, was the same as the finish on this, but it's different. And I don't know how to describe it. Because I don't know my spices. You know, maybe I ought to sit down and get all my spices out, my oregano, nutmeg, and thyme, and all that stuff, and see what they all taste like so I can be able to describe them if I encounter those tastes. I can see how this might go better with some pierogi or Polish sausage or whatever the pairing was for this one. I could definitely go for some kielbasa with this. There's a slight bitterness, but it's mostly malty and sweet. This one has a stronger flavor. I mean, this is smooth and drinkable. This one is robust, but what does it say here? Okocim, easy going refreshment. Yeah. No, this is easy going refreshment, and this is depth. Really, I would have said this is depth and this is easy going refreshment. Yeah, let's try the Weihenstephaner, which I know is more bitter than the other beer that I tried yesterday. So I'm going to expect some bitterness compared to these two. When I drink this, the first thing that I think is that's how beer should taste. This is definitely better tasting in flavor, in bitterness, and sweetness, and mouthfeel than these two. This, if you get a Weihenstephaner original lager, you can't go wrong. I say the same thing when I drink Hofbräu original lager. I think that's what beer should taste like. But I did compare Hofbräu and Weihenstephaner, and they went up against each other more than once, maybe 3 times. I think Hofbräu won 2 out of 1. I can't remember. But what about these two? I like that, but it does have that unidentifiable aftertaste. So if you are very familiar with Okocim, if you're from Poland, I would love to hear from you. I would love to see what you have to say about the flavor of that finish. What is it? Or even if you're not Polish. Even if you are a beer connoisseur and you're very familiar with Okocim and you know what that flavor is and how to describe it, I would love to hear what it is. If you can comment, that'd be great. Now this one, the strongest beer, 6.0. This is a man's beer. It too has a unique flavor, at least unique among the 3. They're all unique. But this has a flavor that I can't identify. I don't know how to identify it. I don't know if I've really even experienced this flavor before, other than the last time I had this beer. The last time I had this beer was in a Polish restaurant with food. I enjoyed it, so I really wasn't able to pick out the differences that this beer has compared to other beers. Because if you really want to find out certain aspects of beer flavors and stuff, you got to do it. You got to have something to compare it against. You got to have a sort of a baseline. At least that's been my experience. So here's another one. If you want to comment and tell me what you think that flavor is, I'll have to maybe also read about it on some of the beer sites like BeerAdvocate. See what the commenters say about the flavor. But you get used to it. First it was like, what is that? But after I drank about half a glass of it, I like it. This one, smooth, very smooth, and I would say that this is boring compared to that. What do we say here? I keep forgetting here. For depth, go Okocim. Yeah, like I said before, I think this one has the depth, and this is the easygoing one. And to me, that makes it a little bit unexciting. Whereas this one, I don't know. Because the more you drink, and the drunker you get, the more beer starts tasting like water. So if you got a good strong beer with a lot of flavor and a lot of depth, then as you're starting to get toasted and beer becomes watery tasting, then that flavor, that depth, strength is going to maybe persist. And if you have a weak beer, then it's going to be like drinking water after drinking a 6-pack or so. So the Weihenstephaner is definitely the best. Gets the win. Between these two, I'm leaning towards ̶ubr. Simply because it's stronger, not quite as sweet. But it does have an odd flavor to it. Maybe if I had to drink a couple of these bottles, I'd probably be sick of that flavor. So, but sweetness also kind of puts me off after a bit of it, like when I drank that Pabst. First time I had a Pabst in a long time. Sweet, so hey, it was pretty good. But then the second one and subsequent ones, no thanks. Just too sweet. I need some bitterness. I need some hoppiness. So I'm going to end it here. I'm going to give it, of course, Weihenstephaner gets the win here. But between these two, I'll give it to ̶ubr. So it'll be interesting to hear what you have to say, especially if you are familiar with these Polish beers and if you are Polish. What do they drink in Poland? What I read is ̶ubr is sold everywhere. And Okocim probably is too. What's more popular there? You also have Tiski. That's another good one. What else? Oh, ̶ubr. Yeah, I can't recall how to pronounce that one. But there are at least 4 Polish beers that I've had and I've enjoyed them all. Polish restaurants. By the way, ̶ubr, it means buffalo. These creatures here were almost extinct in Poland, and they have been reintroduced and are thriving. And they live not far from where this brewery is, from what I read. So it'd be interesting to learn more about that. Looking forward to hearing from some of the Polish viewers. That'd be pretty cool. But if not, or Europe in general, I'm always interested in hearing what the Europeans have to say. So, thanks for watching.